Welcome back. The chairman of the Lagos branch of the Nigerian Bar Association joins me on the program now. I started my interview with him by asking if he thinks that the bar and its leadership is living up to its responsibility to its members and the nation.
Let me be candid. First, from the outside, the perception is that the Legal Society feels that the bar has not been up and doing as much as it ought to be in terms of, call it the ombudsman for the Legal Society. Within the bar, there are quite a number of us who also feel the same way. I think that the leadership of the bar can and should have done or be doing a lot more in terms of the traditional role of the Bar Association as being in the vanguard of fighting for the common Nigerian. I think a lot more could have been done.
Like what?
Legislation touches everybody. If a law is passed, it has a direct impact on the average man, the citizens. And I think that the Bar Association should be doing a lot more in terms of legislative watch. When bills when bills are in the process of being passed into law, the Bar Association should take a position, go through the bills, review the provisions, and bills that are antithetical to the average citizen a point should be made at the point of public hearings, reading of the bills in the House. The Bar Association is supposed to have a legislative watch officer, desk or liaison.
But we currently don't have one.
No, we are supposed to. Okay. But I really do not think that much is going on in that area. And a lot more should be done, nationally and at the state levels.
But what do you think is responsible for the bar being reactionary rather than being proactive?
I think basically that the bar has lost focus. There seems to be more interest in the political side of things than in the things that should define us. We are a professional association, but there's too much of a preoccupation with the larger politics in the Nigerian society, and that's distracting, but it's also time-consuming.
Is that necessarily a bad thing?
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's how you pursue it. If that interest is pursued for less than altruistic reasons, if it is pursued to the detriment of the things that should be our core focus, then it should give some cause for concern.
So there should be a balance?
There should be a balance, but more importantly, I think the core focus of the bar should be the welfare of its members. That should be the core focus, along with the role that we ought to play in protecting the average man.
Now let's talk about the NBA and the elections, which has been scheduled for the 14th and 15th of July. It's one that a lot of people are looking forward to, especially against the background of the fact that we're moving into an election year. The 2015 general elections are coming up, and a lot of people expect the leadership of the bar to be the voice of the people, the conscience of society, to speak truth to power and ensure that we have good, free, and fair elections. And it's against this background I want us to talk about the elections. I know that your branch, Lagos branch, has had issues with the election process, the guidelines, and some of that. And I want to know what has happened in that direction. Has it been resolved, or do you think that the elections which will happen 14th and 15th is going to throw up the kind of precedent and leadership that the lawyers and the society want to see?
I'm sad to say that the complaints that some of us had made regarding certain provisions or stipulations in the election guidelines have not been addressed.
They're still there.
They were ignored. I have a further cause for concern. The guidelines
were... When you say they were ignored,
yeah.
How? By who?
Well, the NBA Lagos branch had passed a resolution raising issues with some of those stipulations in the election guidelines. That resolution was taken by us to the last NBA NEC meeting in Ado-Ekiti. And we were not given the opportunity to properly raise it and have it discussed by the NEC meeting. It was more or less ignored. I was going on to say that In addition to the complaints we had made then, the election guidelines were published on the 22nd of April 2014, and my branch and some other members of the MBA had expressed concerns about some of the stipulations which we felt were either unconstitutional or unnecessary, and would have the effect of disenfranchising a large number of otherwise eligible voters. But I'm going further to say that beyond ignoring the concerns that we had expressed about the published guidelines, the election committee has just recently, 2 days ago, sent out a notice in relation to the election timetable, further modifying some of the things. And one example, by the published guidelines, accreditation of eligible voters will take place from 12 noon on Monday the 14th to about 10 a.m. or so on Tuesday the 15th. So theoretically, a delegate could make plans to arrive in Abuja on the morning of Tuesday the 15th, accredit, cast his or her vote, and then return to base. But now, the fresh notice issued 2 days ago states that accreditation will take place only on Monday the 14th. There will be no accreditation whatsoever on Tuesday the 15th. Now, this means that every voter would have to arrive in Abuja on Monday the 14th and then sleep over until Tuesday.